This is a weird character, mostly because he has something no one else in the game has, but I don't think anyone else in the game would want this except maybe the Postman, because he's in last. NEURO is another competitor in the Tournament of Elements, and he's the elemental master of mind? The mind is an abstract concept directly contradicting the whole thing about elements. Like, the writers of Ninjago should have visited the elemental battlegrounds place on Roblox to get an idea of what counts and what doesn't count as an element. Trust me, those Roblox guys know what they're talking about. Anyway, I did say he has something special only for himself, and that is concussion spinjitzu. Yep, he gets his own special kind of spinjitzu, but this spinjitzu, other than turning around those panels like Mr. Liu does with the basic spinjitzu, he can also aim it at enemies and stun them. Ultimately, I mean, okay, kinda cool, I will admit, but it falls in the same category as the force fields. You need combos to get higher multipliers and a better score in the dojos, so this concussion spinjitzu will just prevent you from getting those combos. It's a true shame. I'm led to believe that she was in the show, but I can't seem to find her on the wiki. Looking at the Elemental Masters page on the wiki, scrolling down the lightning. Jay's mother, Edna? Oh, there she is. Okay, so this is Jay's actual mother, not his adoptive one. Okay, that makes sense. No surprise when I say that she has lightning spinjitzu. Lightning is one of those elements that actually exists, and one of the main ninjas have it, so you know it's a useful ability. Basically, throughout the story and open world, there are these generators that you aim your lightning spinjitzu at, and doing so will power said generators and make something happen, which is usually opening a door because those can be powered by electricity. Anyway, the Master of Lightning here has lightning spinjitzu and nothing else. Griffin Turner is the last character with only one ability, and let me tell you, this one ability of his is a doozy. Griffin Turner is the elemental master of speed in the Tournament of Elements, but if you ask me, I think by speed they mean the drug, because at least that's, you know, tangible. Anyway, Griffin Turner has speed, and the ability where you can go most fast, you know, like Dash from LEGO Incredibles. Speed is one of the most integral abilities post-story, and I'm completely serious when I say that. There are these races all around the open areas, and there are only 2 characters with speed, so it might be a while before you unlock either of these guys, one of them being Griffin Turner, to be able to complete the races. Also, not just the races, but just traveling around the areas in general. With a regular paced character, it can sometimes take a while to get from point A to point B. If you have this guy handy, you can get to the other side of the map faster than you can say, speed isn't an element. So as it turns out, the ninjas have gone up against ghosts at one point, because of course they did. And those ghost guys got some representation in this game, and they even got a dojo for them too. This is the runt of the ghost people, the Soul Archer. I should also mention that all characters from here on out will have at least 2 abilities, so that's nice to note. The Soul Archer's first ability has to do with the fact that, yes, you know, he has a bow, because he's an archer. The bow is yet another weapon of the main ninjas, so there's an ability that corresponds to it. The bow ability, or to be honest, it's just target. That's what it is. It's the same thing. The second ability of the Soul Archer is a new one and exclusive to these ghost guys called Possession. Basically, you see these green objects with ghosts coming out of it. Characters with Possession can take control of these green objects and make them move to make something happen. You don't see it that often, but it's still cool to see that these ghost guys get something unique to them. Something that surprised me is that none of these ghost characters have stealth. I mean, they're ghosts. They should be able to bypass these cameras, but whatever. I don't care. So you know how I just mentioned that the ninjas of Ninjago fought ghost ninjas? Well, get ready for this. They also fought sky pirates. Dude, I know. Okay? But LEGO gotta sell those toys, you know? Anyway, this is the first sky pirate on the list, Flintlock. He is the second in command for the sky pirates. This guy has 2 abilities, as most will, for a while. His first ability is Target. As it turns out, Flintlock has a flintlock, and he will lock some flint in his flintlock to lock flint. I don't know. That sentence kind of fell apart, but you know what I mean. He shoots stuff. Whoop-de-doo. His second ability is new to the series, but something you basically see in every LEGO game, the bomb ability. In other games, it can be called explosive, but it's the ability to blow up silver LEGO objects. Flint pulls out that cartoony dynamite piece and throws it to blow stuff up. You don't see silver LEGO objects that often, but you still need it. The thing about the abilities in this game is that there's so many that you may only use some like once or twice. Of course, there are exceptions, but you see it a lot, especially with abilities none of the main ninjas have, such as bomb, possession, burrow, and more we have not seen yet. So surprisingly, this is the first character that has more than one variant. This is the Shark Army General #1, and yeah, she's a woman. What about it? I really am a fan of her design, especially the hair and the transparent blue cape and the collar thing going on. Anyway, since the Shark Army General #1 has 2 variants and 2 abilities, it's as if they're asking me to cover 1 ability per segment. The first one is Target. Shark Army General #1 wields dual stud shooters and uses them to shoot down those bullseyes. Just the presence of stud shooters in this game sickens me. Stud shooters have been shoehorned in LEGO sets for years now, and it's insulting. I don't know, maybe I'm being elitist about it all, but they should just give all the minifigures in the sets regular gun accessories. Imagine all the lost studs as a result of stud shooters. Way to messy up the house, LEGO. So this is the other variant, the Fired Shark Army General #1. In case you haven't seen the movie, Lord Garmadon has a weird obsession with firing his generals. And when he fires them, he literally sets them on fire because he launches them out of a volcano. This is the Shark Army General #1 post-fire, when she's in the lost city of generals, where all the Garmadon's fired generals end up. I chose the fired variant of the Shark Army General #1 over the standard variant because it's more interesting to look at. Like, there's burnt marks and stuff. Some of her cape is burned away, you know. Like I said in the last segment, I'd be covering 1 of her abilities for each variant. Last time I covered Target. Shark Army General's #1's second and last ability is Dive. Again, no surprise, especially since I already said that all Shark Army characters share this ability. If you haven't noticed, each type of enemy has an ability that is mostly, if not completely, exclusive to them. For example, the Serpentine have Burrow, while no one else does. Ghosts with Possession, and more. Shark Army characters have Dive, while most other characters don't, and it's probably the most used. And it makes sense, since the Shark Army was actually featured in the film. So here's one of the subordinates of the Shark Army seen in the LEGO Ninjago movie. What's strange here is that I ranked him above one of the main generals of Lord Garmadon himself. What's also strange? Fishbowl has the same abilities as Shark Army General #1 and her other variant, which is Target and Dive. You probably are asking, why rank Fishbowl, a lowly servant of the cause, over Shark Army General #1, a high-ranking officer with the cool hair and cape? I like the Fishbowl head better. Yes, that's literally it. Say what you will about my reasoning, but the fishbowl hat is way more interesting than her special hairpiece and her cape. But unfortunately, there isn't much else to say about the fishbowl man here. I mean, there isn't any lore on him because he's one of the few characters in the roster that doesn't even appear in the show. In fact, when you Google Fishbowl Ninjago, you just get screen captures of the game with this guy. Angler Goon is yet another Shark Army subordinate that ranks in importance above a frickin' general and her fired variant. Honestly, I think Angler Goon's design is even better than Fishbowl. There, I said it. It's out there. Anyway, the Angler Goon's abilities are both ones we have seen. First, as is protocol with all Shark Army characters, Angler Goon has Dive. No surprises. The second ability the Angler Goon has is the Hammer. Angler Goon wields a hammer attached to a fish piece and uses it for combat. This weapon also doubles as a hammer for the hammer ability. Like I said, the main ninjas each have their signature weapon and an ability to go along with it. And many characters' weapons, such as the Angler Goon and her hammer, can also apply to these weapon abilities. So yeah. So So the Shark Army General number 1 isn't the only Shark Army General that's featured in the roster for this game. I mean, there's a whole city of generals according to this movie. So this is the one other Shark Army General that's playable in the game. Strangely enough, this one is just called General number 1, and they dropped the Shark Army in the front to differentiate from the one that we covered a few segments ago. But I mean, they both can't be General number 1. The whole thing about them is that they're numbered because Garmadon keeps firing them. Shouldn't this guy be Shark Army General number 2 or something? I'm sure there's a reason for either both number 1. Someone will say it in the comments. Maybe they meant number 1 as in number 1 general at the time they were in Garmadon's army. I mean, armies can have multiple generals. Whatever. I wasted so much time on the logistics of it all. General number 1 has 2 variants, just like Shark Army General number 1, and 2 abilities. So the first ability is Dive, though it's obvious